Good evening and welcome to the Ghana TV9 News Bulletin for Thursday, December 18, 2025. I'm Colin Abrams. In the headlines tonight, President Ali announces 1-month tax-free bonus for disciplined services, $100,000 cash grant for every adult Guyanese. President Ali unveils sweeping social and housing plan. Massive fire destroys Parika supermarket and nearby buildings, millions in losses. Guyanese laud President Ali's 5-year development agenda, and President Ali's mother sues Melly Mel and Facebook for Canadian $15 million defamation. Now for the news in depth. Addressing the nation at the Arthur Trunk Conference Center on Wednesday, President Dr. Muhammad Irfan Ali announced a major slate of social and economic initiatives to be rolled out under Budget 2026, including a $100,000 cash grant for every Guyanese aged 18 and older. Here's more from Adana Doric.
The president said these initiatives fulfill a key pledge in the government's 2025 manifesto and marks the beginning of a broader program of direct financial support to citizens over the next 5 years.
We committed in our manifesto 2025 to provide additional cash grants to individuals. In this regard, Budget 2026, which will be presented early in the new year, will make provision for a cash grant of $100,000 to be paid to every citizen in Guyana who is 18 years of age and older. And other cash grants will be paid during the course of the next 5 years.
Beyond cash support, President Ali reaffirmed his administration's aggressive push to expand access to housing. He said the backlog of house lot applications is being cleared in most regions, with Region 4 presenting unique demand pressures.
I've already reiterated my government's commitment to ensure that every Guyanese family is able to have access to adequate housing. In particular, we'll ensure that the backlog of applications for house lots are cleared in the shortest possible time. We are already well on track to achieving this in all regions except Region 4, where the demand is peculiar. We are also well on track to delivering our commitment of building 40,000 homes.
The president also announced that Budget 2026 and subsequent budgets will allocate funding for direct household assistance to help citizens build or upgrade their homes, using a region-specific and community-focused approach. In a major boost to social services, President Ali outlined plans to expand childcare, early childhood development, special needs education, and elderly care. Corporate taxes will be removed from companies engaged in childcare and elderly care services alongside government co-investment on condition that fees remains capped and affordable.
Our government is committed in our Manifesto 2025 to expand day and night care facilities, as well as early childhood development centers countrywide. At the same time, we recognize that the provision of these services provides an important entrepreneurial opportunity for small businesses, especially considering the number of persons we have already trained in child care and elderly care. Accordingly, we'll remove corporate taxes on income earned by companies engaged in child care provision services, as we have already done with health and education services.
He further announced that special needs facilities will be established in every region, with satellite schools managed in partnership with parents, allowing families greater assurance of quality education while enabling parents to seek employment. In pursuit of what he described as a quote-unquote a more human society, President Ali also revealed that Budget 2026 will provide financial support to NGOs involved in animal care and welfare. Closing his address, the president framed the initiatives as part of a historic turning point for the nation.
These plans represent a blueprint for transformation that will be tangible in your daily lives. In the work you do, the wages you earn, the communities that cradle your families, and the horizons of opportunities opening for your children, with your trust and partnership, will turn this moment into a movement, a momentum that carries growth in our homes, pay packets, and the dreams of our people.
President Ali ended on a message of hope and national pride, calling on Guyanese to seize what he described as a quote unquote moment of unprecedented opportunity to build a brighter, fairer, and more prosperous Guyana. Dana Dore, Guyana TV9 News.
Bibi Shariman Nashar Ali, mother of President Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali, has filed a Canadian $15 million defamation lawsuit in the Ontario Superior Court of Justice in Canada against social media personality Melissa Atwell, also known as Melly Mel, and Meta Platforms Inc. The suit filed in December 2025 claims that false posts on Facebook, including allegations of corruption and disparaging references such as Gangster Granny, have damaged Mrs. Ali's reputation. The legal action seeks to hold both the content creator and the platform accountable for the widespread online dissemination of unverified and harmful statements. Faith Sadly has more in this report.
Court documents allege that the defamatory content originated from an August 2025 interview that was later shared online and amplified on Melly Mel's social media pages. Mrs. Ali asserts that the post falsely linked her to corruption involving her son and claimed she pressured contractors for kickbacks. The lawsuit states that Meta and Melly Mel, quote unquote, knew or ought to have known that the material would be widely accessible in Ontario, where Mrs. Ali resides, and that the statements were reckless, malicious, and defamatory. The filing highlights Mrs. Ali's decades long career as a respected educator, Deputy Chief Education Officer, and part time University of Guyana lecturer, as well as her active role in the Guyanese Canadian community. The lawsuit claims the defamatory post caused emotional, psychological, and reputational harm, including anxiety, depression, humiliation, and damage to her standing in both professional and personal spheres. Mrs. Ali is seeking 15 million Canadian dollars in damages, along with a judicial declaration that she was defamed, an order for the removal and destruction of all defamatory materials, and an injunction preventing future publication. Her lawyers argue that neither Melly Mel nor Meta took adequate steps to verify the content before dissemination, enabling the post to reach tens of thousands of users. The lawsuit underscores growing concerns over misinformation and online defamation in Guyana, particularly involving high profile political figures and their families. Advocates warn that social media platforms have amplified the spread of unverified claims, causing tangible harm to individuals' reputations and mental health. While critics may view this as a political case, Mrs. Ali emphasizes the personal nature of the defamation, noted she holds no public office. Mrs. Ali legal team has pledged to pursue the case vigorously, highlighting the serious consequences of spreading false information in the digital age. Faith Sandy, Ghana TV9 News.
President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali, on Friday announced the payment of a one-month tax-free bonus to members of the disciplined services as he addressed soldiers at the Guyana Defense Forces Soldiers' Day Christmas luncheon at Base Camp Stevenson. The announcement was met with loud applause and cheers from ranks gathered for the annual observance, which brought together senior government officials, military leadership, and soldiers from across the base. More in this story.
Your Commander-in-Chief, I am now pleased to announce that a one-month tax-free bonus will once again be paid to our disciplined forces, placing an additional $2.1 billion of disposable income in the hands of more than 13,000 members of the disciplined services.
That was President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali, as he addressed soldiers at the Guyana Defense Force Soldiers' Day Christmas luncheon at Base Camp Stevenson. In his address, President Ali affirmed the government's commitment to the welfare, education, and professional development of soldiers, noting that thousands of servicemen and women are benefiting from the Ghana Online Academy of Learning, Goals, scholarships, and other training opportunities. He emphasized that investments in soldiers are not only about the national security, but also about preparing them for lives of dignity and opportunity beyond their years of service. The president emphasized that military service represents a solemn responsibility to protect the sovereignty, safety, and freedom of Guyana. He stated that the Guyana Defense Force continues to uphold these responsibilities during a period of increasing regional and global uncertainty, while remaining committed to professionalism, discipline, and respect of democratic values.
Not only preparing you for the protection of this country, we are preparing you to live a life of honor and dignity long after you retire. We are preparing you also, as you serve today, to enjoy the enormous benefits of this economy tomorrow, because you deserve it. And that is why we're investing in you.
Earlier, Chief of the Defense Staff Brigadier Omar Khan described 2025 as a challenging year for the force, during which GDF ranks were ambushed, attacked, and injured in the execution of their duties. He said these incidents did not weaken morale, but instead strengthened the determination and vigilance of the force. He also pointed to a record $50.3 billion defense allocation for the year, noting that sustained increases in funding over the past 5 years have enabled significant improvements in training, infrastructure, and operational capability.
With the challenges that we have faced and outlined, the force stood steadfast, resolute, and prepared for the next task ahead. Commander-in-Chief, it is not my aim this afternoon to take the thunder, but to request that you speak to your soldiers, your vision, and how much you have done since 2020, investing, supporting us in our mission to protect the territorial integrity of Guyana.
Brigadier Khan reported that more than 900 ranks were trained locally and overseas during the year, including the first Lance Corporal to complete a university degree program. He also outlined ongoing investments in infrastructure, such as improved accommodation and operational facilities, as well as major acquisitions across air, land, and sea domains. Among the key developments highlighted were the addition of 2 new helicopters to the Air Corps, bringing the total number of military aircraft to 9, the highest in several decades. He also referenced regional. More news after the break. Stay with us.
GCOM will be conducting a claims and objections exercise commencing January 5, 2026 to produce an official list of electors, OLE. If you will be 18 years or older by December 31, 2025 and you are a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GCOM will be posting the preliminary list of electors, PLE, in all of the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check whether the particulars are accurate. You can object to anyone who you believe does not qualify for inclusion in the OLE. To do so, you must be listed in the same divisional list as the person you are objecting to. You must visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to make an objection. It is an offense to make false objections. The objections aspect of this exercise will end on Thursday, January 22, 2026. For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-0278-9 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Guyana, Channel 9 is now Guy TV9, proudly under new management. We're building stronger with a balanced and open platform for all advertisers. Whether you're promoting a business, service, or event, your message belongs right here. So choose your spot, news, prime time, or anytime, and reach viewers across Guyana. With affordable rates and professional service, Guy TV9 is your partner in progress. So visit us at Lot 21A, Lamahar Street, Georgetown, in the Century 21 building, or call 600-5006 or 761-5006. Guyana TV9. New leadership, fresh outlook, real results.
Celebrate Christmas the Guyanese way with 7 days of magic and adventure. Feel the streets come alive with lights, decor, and carols. Share in the delicious joy of favorites like pepper pot, black cake, and even ginger beer. Then explore Guyana's attractions, the majestic kite show, scenic tour on the Demerara Essequibo, and Mahaika rivers. 7 days, one unforgettable Christmas. Join us. Let's discover Guyana this Christmas.
Want to place your death announcements and in memoriam messages on Channel 9? Call 592-761-5006, 710-5008, 600-5006. Or visit our office at Lot 85A Lamaha Street, Albertown, Georgetown, Century 21 building.
GCOM will be conducting a claims and objections exercise commencing January 5, 2026 to produce an official list of electors, OLE. GCOM will be posting the preliminary list of electors, PLE, in all of the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check if you are listed and if so, whether your particulars are accurate. If you will be 18 years or older by December 31, 2025 and you are a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. If you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE, you are required to apply for registration if your name is not on the PLE, apply for a transfer if you've changed your address since you were registered, apply for a name change if you have changed your name, or apply for a correction if your registration particulars are incorrect. Any person applying for a change or correction to his or her particulars must provide the required original source documents: birth certificate and deed poll for a name change by deed poll, birth certificate and marriage certificate for a name change by marriage, divorce absolute in the case of a woman who is desirous of reverting to her maiden name from her married name, birth certificate, adoption certificate, or naturalization certificate for correction of minor clerical errors. Visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to conduct any of the above transactions. The claims aspect of this exercise will end on Sunday, January 18, 2026. For more information, contact GCOM on 225-027-8-9 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Welcome back. You're watching the Ghana TV9 News Bulletin. President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali reaffirmed that Ghana's position on security, international cooperation, and economic policy remains unchanged, emphasizing the country's strong partnerships with the United States and other international allies to combat illegal activities and protect national sovereignty. Here's more.
Speaking on the sidelines of an event on Wednesday at the Arthur Chung Conference Center, where he made several announcements, including a $100,000 cash grant for citizens, the president highlighted Ghana's commitment to democracy and the rule of law and freedom, describing these principles as essential pillars of a modern society. He said the government supports a regional environment in which democratic values are upheld daily and citizens' rights are respected. The president stated that Ghana continues to support every effort aimed at legal trade while firmly opposing drug trafficking and all forms of smuggling, noting that these activities destroy lives and economies both locally and across the wider region. Addressing questions of sanctions, President Ali explained that sanctions imposed by the U.S. are a matter for U.S. authorities and are typically directed at individuals. He emphasized that sanctions are serious measures and that Guyanese should understand their implications. He made it clear that he was speaking solely on behalf of Guyana and not the other regional leaders.
We have a peculiar situation in Guyana. We just had um, Venezuelan being charged for terrorist activity in Guyana that claimed the life of young people. We have a border situation to manage. We have an active threat from Venezuela on the sovereignty of this country. And my responsibility is to keep Guyanese safe, to keep Guyana safe, and to work with all our allies and partners in doing that. And I intend to continue to work strongly with our allies in doing exactly that.
He also referenced the active border and sovereignty challenges posed by Venezuela and stressed that his foremost responsibility is to ensure the safety and security of Guyana and its people through continued cooperation with international allies. Turning to economic matters, the president addressed questions about financial announcements before the holidays by explaining that the government's cash transfer initiative of $100,000 for every citizen aged 18 and over represents only the first tranche of a broader economic empowerment strategy. He detailed additional measures focused on home ownership, housing expansion, and targeted support for children, the elderly, women, and other vulnerable groups. He cautioned against assumptions that the country has unlimited financial resources, explaining that government revenue is heavily influenced by volatile international markets such as oil and gold prices. As a result, he said fiscal policy must be carefully managed to account for both global risks and opportunities.
I spoke about all the other stuff for children, the elderly, women, vulnerable. So it's a collective mechanism. I'm sure you heard me speaking too about that threshold that will be in line with many developers. Just imagine what that alone means and what it will cost. And we must understand that the bubblers in our society, the balloon bursters in our society, who like to say you're flush with cash. We have to understand the fiscal environment and the framework in which our country is operating and the revenue from our country and from where the revenue of our country is coming. And when you look at that structure of the revenue, you have to understand that the structure of the revenue is subject to the volatility of the international market, whether it's oil price, gold price, and all of these things. So
President Ali added that the administration has deliberately crafted its policy agenda to maintain economic stability while pursuing growth and prosperity. He also noted that the government continues to maintain strong and ongoing engagement with the joint services, although no specific new announcements were made. Colin Abrams, TV9 News.
The Brave Center, located in Region 3, is a safe space designed for men where they can speak openly, express their emotions, and address issues often left unspoken. The center is an initiative of the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security aimed at promoting positive masculinity and reducing gender based violence. Here's more.
In a society where men are often expected to remain silent about their struggles, a new initiative is challenging long standing norms and opening the door to meaningful conversations. Speaking about the purpose of the center, Dave Bisat, a resident, explained that the Brave Center was created to allow men to express themselves in ways they often cannot in everyday society.
Purpose of the Brave Center so men could come and sit and express themselves the way they cannot in the world. Because mostly in society, men are expected to be one way, act one way, but the Brave Center, it's not that way. Men could come and actually be themselves, express themselves, speak of things they can actually speak up in society.
The center brings men together in a relaxed, non judgmental environment, encouraging honest dialogue around personal challenges, relationships, and social pressures. It also serves as an educational space where men can learn about gender based violence, including how men experience it, contribute to it, or help prevent it. According to officials, trained Brave facilitators are available on site to provide counseling services and guide individuals to other departments within the Ministry of Human Services should they require additional support or wish to report abuse. Beyond counseling, the space offers books, literature, and recreational activities allowing men to unwind, connect, and build trust. These informal interactions often lead to deeper discussions about personal responsibility, emotional health, and positive behavior.
Instead of simply talking about their feelings and receiving counseling, we also have various books and literature and so on that they can come and just unwind or perhaps just have a conversation. This afternoon, in fact, we were just having a chat and playing games and just to have a safe, comfortable space where men can relax, unwind, and talk about what might be bothering them. And from those conversations, we delve into deeper topics about the issues that men may be having, like, for example, gender based violence and how men contribute to it, how men suffer from it, how men are perpetrators of it, as well as solutions that men can employ to decrease the amount of gender based violence that occurs within the country.
With violence still a major concern nationwide, the Brave Center represents a proactive approach engaging men directly and empowering them to become positive role models in their homes and communities. Officials say the center is open to men throughout Region 3, is located at Lenora at the West Central Mall, and encourages individuals to bring friends or family members who may need a safe space to talk. The ministry hopes that initiatives like the Brave Center will contribute to long term social change, proving that when men are given the space to speak, listen, and learn, the impact can extend far beyond the walls of the center. Adana Doric, and TV9 News.
Guyanese are lauding the 5-year development plan outlined by President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali on Wednesday night. They were high in praise for the large-scale transformational projects and economic growth. Many citizens and investors share the government's optimism for a quote glorious future rather, and golden era, noting that the strategic planning will position Guyana as a regional leader in logistics, energy, and food security. Faith Sandy has details in this report.
President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali is outlining his government's policy and development agenda for the next 5 years, touching on economic initiatives, social measures, and digital reforms aimed at boosting national growth and improving citizens' welfare. Listen as citizens react to the president's address to the nation.
It was good, especially the part where the senior citizen be getting $60,000 per month. That is really excellent. To God be praised. Unlike my mother never works, so she can't get NIS. And the only money she received is this government pension. So I'm so happy for that.
For residents of Region 3, with the large swath of agro-processors and for the farmers, this is great news from this speech because of the economic relief being given in that there's no corporate taxes. And then the words about the social programs, once the government can implement these programs, should bring significant relief to the residents of Region 3. And I think those are two big takeaways from the presentation.
The announcements were most welcome. It is definitely the path to prosperity for the People's Progressive Party civics next term in government. A lot to look forward to in all major sectors. The president has laid out basically a general outline of what is going on, and we eagerly look forward to Budget 2026 to see the details coming out there for those items.
I'm very elated at what the president has announced this evening, especially two takeaways I have. The agriculture sector is going to have a major boost. We've been needing something like this for a very long time, and it now brings to the table the opportunity for small, medium, large, all levels of persons in agriculture to push more production from Guyana, more opportunities for Guyanese to move forward. The second one is the four-door advancements. We need that. It's very, very, very integral for pushing out of town or out of remote areas, all the development on the highway and so forth. Those areas will need 4x4 vehicles.
I'm very confident. I'm very confident in my government will take care of all citizens. Will ensure with that, first of all, the plan that was proposed tonight is a robust economic development plan for Guyana. I'm very happy about that. And with that plan, it means that there's a lot of inclusivity for all Guyanese.
We heading for good glory. Good. And I like it. He announced things that will come and happen in future.
Yeah.
And that is good. Great. Oh, I'm very, very happy. I'm very happy that the government announced that we will get the cash grant.
The agenda and the vision that the president highlighted and outlined for the next 5 years creates an important framework for really advancing Ghana's development, creating more opportunities for citizens, for really enhancing the competitiveness of our country on an economic level and a financial level. And I'm very excited and looking forward to working with the government and from a private sector standpoint.
Faith Sandy, Guyana TV9 News.
Thank you, Faith. More news after the break. Stay with us.
GCOM will be conducting a claims and objections exercise commencing January 5, 2026 to produce an official list of electors OLE if you will be 18 years or older by December 31, 2025 and you're a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent or naturalization or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GCOM will be posting the preliminary list of electors PLE in all of the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check if you are listed and if so, whether your particulars are accurate. If you have changed your address since you were registered, you need to visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your new area of residence to apply for a transfer. Sunday, January 18, 2026 is the last day you can apply for a transfer during this exercise. For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-0278-9 or visit www.gcom.org.gy. GCOM will be conducting a claims and objections exercise commencing January 5, 2026 to produce an official list of electors OLE if you will be 18 years or older by December 31, 2025 and you're a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent or naturalization or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more. You are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GCOM will be posting the preliminary list of electors PLE in all of the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check whether the particulars are accurate. You can object to anyone who you believe does not qualify for inclusion in the OLE. To do so, you must be listed in the same divisional list as a person you are objecting to. You must visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to make an objection. It is an offense to make false objections. The objections aspect of this exercise will end on Thursday, January 22, 2026. For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-0278-9 or visit www.gcom.org.gy. GCOM will be conducting a claims and objections exercise commencing January 5, 2026 to produce an official list of electors OLE if you will be 18 years or older by December 31, 2025 and you're a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent or naturalization or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more. You are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GCOM will be posting the preliminary list of electors PLE in all of the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check whether the particulars are accurate. You can object to anyone who you believe does not qualify for inclusion in the OLE. To do so, you must be listed in the same divisional list as a person you are objecting to. You must visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to make an objection. It is an offense to make false objections. The objections aspect of this exercise will end on Thursday, January 22, 2026. For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-0278-9 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Channel 9 is now Guide TV9, proudly under new management. We're building stronger with a balanced and open platform for all advertisers. Whether you're promoting a business, service, or event, your message belongs right here. So choose your spot, news, prime time, or anytime, and reach viewers across Guyana. With affordable rates and professional service, Guide TV9 is your partner in progress. So So visit us at Lot 21A, Lamaha Street, Georgetown, in the Century 21 building, or call 600-5006 or 761-5006. Guyana TV9. New leadership, fresh outlook, real results.
Celebrate Christmas the Guyanese way with 7 days of magic and adventure. Feel the streets come alive with lights, decor, and carols. Share in the delicious joy of favorites like pepper pot, black cake, and even ginger beer. Then explore Guyana's attractions, the majestic kite show, scenic tour on the Demerara Essequibo, and Mahaika rivers. 7 days, one unforgettable Christmas. Join us. Let's discover Guyana this Christmas.
Want to place your death announcements and in memoriam messages on Channel 9? Call 592-761-5006, 710-5008, 600-5006. Or visit our office at Lot 85A Lamaha Street, Albertown, Georgetown, Century 21 Building.
GCOM will be conducting a claims and objections exercise commencing January 5, 2026 to produce an official list of electors, OLE. GCOM will be posting the preliminary list of electors, PLE, in all of the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check if you are listed and if so, whether your particulars are accurate. If you will be 18 years or older by December 31, 2025 and you are a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. If you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE, you are required to apply for registration if your name is not on the PLE, apply for a transfer if you have changed your address since you were registered, apply for a name change if you have changed your name, or apply for a correction if your registration particulars are incorrect. Any person applying for a change or correction to his or her particulars must provide the required original source documents: birth certificate and deed poll for a name change by deed poll, birth certificate and marriage certificate for a name change by marriage, divorce absolute in the case of a woman who is desirous of reverting to her maiden name from her married name, birth certificate, adoption certificate, or naturalization certificate for correction of minor clerical errors. Visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to conduct any of the above transactions. The claims aspect of this exercise will end on Sunday, January 18, 2026. For more information, contact GCOM on 225-027-8-9 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Welcome back. You're watching the Ghana TV9 News Bulletin. The Traffic Department has warned motorists that unauthorized LED lights, displays, and electronic visual devices on vehicles breach prescribed fitness requirements. Items such as illuminated images, scrolling, or colored LED panels are not approved and can distract drivers, impair visibility, and increase the risk of accidents. Traffic ranks will take enforcement action, which may include prosecution, removal of the devices, and disqualification of the vehicle's certificate of fitness. Motorists are urged to comply as road safety remains everyone's responsibility. A massive fire ripped through the Golden World Chinese supermarket and a nearby building in Parika, East Bank, Essequibo on Wednesday night, leaving the owners counting millions of dollars in losses. The blaze reportedly began at around 8 p.m., quickly spreading through the three-story building, fueled by strong winds. Eyewitnesses described flames engulfing the top floor where residents lived as fire crews battled the inferno for hours. Authorities are investigating the cause while the community reels from the destruction. With Sandy has more.
Eyewitnesses said they first noticed the fire while preparing for bed, hearing screams and seeing flames consuming the top floor of the supermarket. Reports indicated that the fire started in a section of the store before 8 p.m. and quickly spread to adjacent areas, including the nearby Hassan Variety Building. Firefighters arrived promptly but faced challenges due to high winds and the rapid intensity of the blaze. During the chaos, some individuals reported attempted to loot the affected stores. A Sun Variety owner confirmed these incidents occurred while firefighters were working to contain the flames. Despite these challenges, emergency crews managed to bring the fire under control, although firefighters remain on the scene late into the night to fully extinguish hot spots and prevent reignition. The owners of Golden World Supermarket are facing significant financial losses as their three-story building was destroyed. Nearby residents and businesses expressed shock over the destruction and praised the rapid response of the fire department. Community members have failed to support those affected, while local authorities continue damage assessments and plan next steps for recovery. The fire services as a stark reminder of the risk of commercial fires in mixed use buildings, especially in areas with strong winds and limited fire breaks. Investigations into the cause are ongoing, and authorities have urged residents to remain vigilant and report any hazards promptly. Emergency services have assured the public that lessons from the Parika fire will inform improved safety protocols in the future. Faith Sandy, Ghana TV9 News.
Thank you, Faith. And in regional news, Venezuela's Justice Minister Diosdado Cabello has issued a strong warning to Prime Minister Kamala Prasad Macesar, accusing Trinidad and Tobago of allowing United States military aircraft to use local airports. Speaking on his weekly television program Con El Mazo Dando, Cabello said Venezuela would not or would respond if its territory or people were harmed, stressing his remarks were directed at the Trinidad and Tobago government and not its citizens. His comments, made before a live studio audience, quickly spread across Venezuela's social media, drawing both support and controversy. The remarks followed Trinidad and Tobago's decision earlier this week to approve U.S. military flights through PRCO and ANR Robinson International Airports, with two U.S. military transport aircraft already arriving. Hours after the approval, or that approval rather, was announced, President Nicolas Maduro ended all energy agreements with Trinidad and Tobago, accusing the government of hostile actions and collusion with the United States, a move Cabello later defended while dismissing Trinidad and Tobago's response on the loss of Venezuelan gas supplies. And internationally, according to CVM television, several people are feared dead after a small private jet crashed in North Carolina in the United States on Thursday morning, according to local authorities. The Cessna Citation 550 went down shortly after takeoff around 10:15 hours. The exact number of fatalities has not yet been confirmed. The Federal Aviation Administration rather, and the National Transportation Safety Board are investigating, with the NTSB leading the probe. The administration of US President Donald Trump has launched its latest criticism of the South African government, accusing officials of harassing and doxing people working with the white Africans. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio made the accusation on Thursday, a day after South Africa expelled 7 Kenyan nationals who had entered the country with U.S. assistance to help process Afrikaner relocations. South African authorities say the individuals entered on tourist visas and were therefore not permitted to work. In a statement, Rubio alleged that U.S. nationals were briefly detained during the incident, a move Washington says, quote, it condemns in the strongest terms, end of quote. He also claimed officials' passport details were leaked, calling it an unacceptable form of harassment that placed those involved at risk. Rubio warned that failure by the South African government to hold those responsible accountable could lead to severe consequences. South Africa has denied that any U.S. officials were arrested, saying the operation did not take place at a diplomatic site. The Department of International Relations and Cooperation questioned the U.S. decision to employ workers without proper documentation, saying it raised serious concerns about intent and diplomatic protocol. The Trump administration has for months increased pressure on the government of President Cyril Ramaphosa, accusing it of tolerating the prosecution of white Afrikaner farmers, claiming that previously gained traction in air right circles. Relations have further deteriorated after the U.S. expelled South Africa's ambassador rather, boycotted the G20 summit in Johannesburg, and excluded South Africa from attending next year's G20 meeting in Miami. That has brought us to the end of tonight's newscast. Remember to check out our Facebook and YouTube platforms at GUI TV9 for more trending stories. I'm Colin Abrams. Good night.